Hey everybody, welcome to the Sky Lounge, and this is Piggy Skin Picks, where I pick the winners and losers of the upcoming NFL week number 11, boys and girls. 9 out of 14 in the pick'ems, a 64.29%. I will take that above 500 week, and you know what? Let's continue that trend this week, and this week starts off tonight, Thursday Night Football. The Indianapolis Colts will take on the Houston Texans. I believe the Colts will win this game. Now, relatively speaking, I think Colts are on the way up, where the Texans look like their trajectory is on the way down. I still see Deshaun Watson doing magical things, but that Houston defense, not all that great. I think their head coach is just bland at best, and Jesus Christ, I think the Colts really figured out their division rivals. That's what I think it comes down to. The Colts, under Frank Reich, probably wins this game by a touchdown or more. So let's move on to the Sunday matchup between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Atlanta Falcons. Yes, I think the Falcons are going to win this game because none other than Jameis Winston will be the fucking main character in this game, meaning he will be the idiot who gives this game away to the fucking Falcons. Now, I do want to say this about the Falcons. They've been winning since they picked up kicker Koo Young-Ho Koo, however you want to, put the last names first or last. They've been looking good. And you know what? I think the Falcons come out with a win here. And Tampa Bay is going to continue to look like the proverbial trash. Or maybe like Grouch, Oscar the Grouch, right? Where he just pops out every once in a while like, fuck you! Oh shit, he's alive. That's what I feel the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is in that division, in the NFC South. And yeah, I know there are Tampa Bay fans who might not take kindly to that, but prove me wrong. You guys are not that good. Nor will you continue to get better. So, there you go. Picking Atlanta in that one. Now, let's move on to the next game. The Denver Broncos will take on the Buffalo Bills. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to pick the Bills, but I don't think this is going to be a fucking wide margin of a difference in terms of scoring. I think Denver will bring it close, but this is ultimately going to be a very ugly game where both quarterbacks are going to give us just D material, and it's going to be left up to Stephen A. Hauschka. Is it Stephen A. Hauschka? I don't know his fucking middle name. I think I'm just making up A for Ace. Former Seahawks. Hauschka. We'll probably have to win that game. That's what I think it comes down to. So, not much to say about Denver, is there? Not much to say about Denver. No. After that 20-0 choke, you should say nothing. Don't say anything. Just lay there and take the ass whooping like your team has been designed to do all season. Now let's take on the next game. The New York Giants will take on the Chicago Bears. I think the Bears are going to come out of this, but it's just going to be another constipated thing with the fucking Bears, where you're just hoping that Trubisky does something, anything good. And against the Giants, who are looking better, week by week, they might be looking better, but oh, Jesus Christ. There's not a lot of optimism there, is there? You shouldn't really expect things from this Giants team, right? So I'm not. I'm just going to hope that, annoying Chicago fans can simmer down after this one. Who the fuck am I kidding? Chicago fans are going to get more annoying if Trubisky is competent. Like, that's the saddest thing. They're just looking for bare competence. Bare competence. That's right. I still got punts. So, Bears with the win there. And let's move on to the next game. The Pittsburgh Steelers will take on the Cincinnati Bengals. Pittsburgh. Next. Miami Dolphins taking on Cleveland. Yeah, Cleveland. Next. Why the fuck am I going to talk about Miami? Miami sucks ass. I don't care what the fuck they did with the Jets and the Colts. They're still trash. I'm not going to fucking rate them. And as for the Browns, you had a bit of a week. Especially the Basharama incident. After that shit, you got to figure this out. You got to make sure you win on the offense. Baker looked good last week. Hopefully you continue that trend. And now let's move on to the next game. The Carolina Panthers will take on the New Orleans Saints in New Orleans, and I think New Orleans is going to win this out. Just outright win. The Atlanta game looked more like a fluke now than anything else. And New Orleans under Drew Brees, getting back into rhythm, he's only going to get better. And as for this Carolina defense, I don't trust it at all. I don't. Kyle Allen has somehow regressed, facing real defenses that can do that to you. And right now, you don't really have a lot of hope. Other than Christian McCaffrey, who should be a shoo-in for MVP, but of course the whole talk is, Lamar Jackson and my boy Russell Wilson. I mean, admittedly, which is the proper thing to do when you're talking about Russell Wilson. But CMC, I think, is going to go for 150 yards in this game, but come out with nothing. I think that's the kind of lot in life you're going to get being in the Carolina Panthers right now. Now let's move on to the next game. The Oakland Raiders will take on the New York Jets. New York Jets, Jets. Yeah, no, the Jets are going to fucking lose. I think the Oakland Raiders are on the positive right now. Listen, when talks are coming out that John Gruden might be coach of the year, shit is looking really good. I mean, you got Josh Jacobs firing on all cylinders as a rookie rusher. He is fantastic. Derek Carr has never looked better. This defense for the Raiders is hungry. And you know what? They might be fucking wearing ghost disguises, coming for Sam Darnold. Woo! And that's for the Jets. I mean, the fact that you guys are pretending everything is okay and keeping dipshit crack addict Adam Gase there is hilarious to boot, and you are probably going to ruin Sam Darnold's career. And Le'Veon Bell looks like he's reverting back to the cancer. Have fun. Now, let's move on to the next game. The Detroit Lions will take on the Washington Redskins. I don't think the Deadskins are going to win this one. I think the Lions, even with Driscoll, is going to have a decent enough game against the Washington Deadskins where you just feel for a guy like Dwayne Haskins. You do. You feel for the guy. You're like, oh my God. You got drafted into this fucking dumpster fire of an organization in the Redskins, and they have not provided you any goddamn support. They just haven't. It's a buttfuck of an organization. And the Lions, as sad and pathetic and just depressing as they are, they might just squeeze out a fucking win here. That's kind of the hopes for most people, just because it's just sad to watch this shit happen. It's like a dead horse just getting consistently beat on. Not beat on, but like beat on. Mason Rudolph style. But I see Detroit with the win. Now, the final 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time game, the Seattle Seahawks take on the Philadelphia Eagles. And I believe the Seahawks will win. But let me just talk about something real quick. Okay, the fact that they flexed this game from Sunday Night Football to 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time game is stupid. It's utterly ridiculous. I think at least it should have been a 1 o'clock game, if anything. And yeah, I don't think anything to do with the Seahawks, not being a blockbuster. It just has to do more along the lines of the Philadelphia Eagles just being absolute dog shit this season. And you know what? Carson Wentz is still pretty damn good. In order for the Seahawks to win, they're going to have to get at it, from the defensive end and, generate some pass rush like you did last fucking game against the 49ers. If we get to see that shit, that'd be fucking amazing. Get your road record to 6-0. As for the fucking Eagles, man, I don't really know what else to say. Yeah, your defense may have gotten better, and you looked like yourselves in terms of defense against the fucking Patriots. But I just don't know. I don't have a good feeling about the Eagles. I believe they're -1.5 favorites, but I believe the Seahawks will cover that spread, probably win by a field goal or more, because Pete Carroll down the line is going to do something really stupid, probably challenge for a passer interference that doesn't need to be fucking called on, and it'll be fun. It'll be stress-inducing, but fun. So Seattle with the win there, and let's go ahead and move to the next game. The Jacksonville Jaguars versus the Tennessee Titties, the Titans. I think Jacksonville's going to win. I think Big Dick Nick showing out last week, not too great, but his return cements a more consistent version of Jacksonville's face, I believe. The problem is, you got to get the run game going. Leonard Fournette running for almost nothing last week was a huge problem. And on Tennessee, I think you can. I think you can run the defense. I think you can have multiple attack options to get at Tennessee. As for Ryan Tannehill and the offense gang, I don't fucking know what to make of that team. I really don't. I just think this is such a fucking mediocre-ass team, and division games like this, I think they'll fuck up. and inevitably lose. So Jacksonville with the win there. Now let's move on to the next game. The Dallas Cowboys will take on the New England Patriots. Holy shit, the two team that everybody fucking hates in this world. And wouldn't it be great if this ended in a tie? That's my evil way of letting you folks know that soccer is back this weekend. But hey, this is football, American football, and you got to pick a winner and a loser. Generally, that's how this thing happens. And I believe the Patriots will win this game in Foxborough, where Brady hasn't looked all that great, in terms of statistics, in terms of the looks that he's getting. I still think this Patriots defense is for real. It's legit. It's under Bill Belichick, arguably one of the greatest defensive coaches of all time. And just generally just one of the best coaches of all time. Against a Jason Garrett, a Jason Garrett who, God forbid, you give him time, he's not really going to prepare. They looked so bland against the Lions last week. I don't really know what else to say about this team. If Zeke doesn't get going, it's a problem. If Dak gets suppressed down, it's a problem. And all those things on the defensive end for New England, I believe they can do it. I believe they can have that energy and talent to suppress down Dallas's offense. And it's going to be left up to Tom Brady in the game to take care of business. But I believe the Patriots will win that game pretty decidedly by a touchdown or more. And so let's move on to the next game. The flexed Sunday Night Football game, the Green Bay Packers taking on the San Francisco 49ers. I'm going to go ahead and select the Green Bay Packers. Okay, and I'm going to tell you why. Jimmy GQ hasn't looked all that bad. He hasn't. But honestly, on the offensive side, I don't really buy into this 49ers team. I just don't. In prime time, away, outside, whatever fucking stat you want to throw out there, based on Fox Sports, ESPN, whatever the fuck. Aaron Rodgers isn't all that great as an away quarterback. He's just 500 if I'm not mistaken. But the weapons around him and how Seattle exposed the 49ers in prime time and how the Cardinals actually continued that exposure last week, I think the Green Bay Packers can really do some damage here. I think Matt LaFleur and the gang, can lead way and grab a win in Santa Clara. Now, I don't think a win is going to be as big as a touchdown. I think maybe 3 points or under. I'm thinking for the Packers here. And so, should be a good game. I mean, as much as I bitch about it, this should be a relatively good game. Two top-heavy teams in the NFC going at it. Should be fun. Now, Monday Night Football should be very interesting in a matchup that people thought was going to be a Super Bowl replicate. No, not at all. This game is more along the lines of a really shitty team going against a really good team. That's right, the shitty team being the home team in the Rams versus the Baltimore Ravens, who are probably going to make it more of a home game with their fans, from all those away venues just coming on down to the Coliseum just because LA is so close relative to all the other states where Ravens fans can flock from. I think the Ravens win this game on primetime and Monday Night Football. Just because of the way Lamar Jackson has carried himself, I think this defense for the Rams have looked decent. You still got Aaron Donald on there. But there's enough momentum with Baltimore. I think they're going to carry that swag forward the last 2 weeks and keep it going. And the national media narrative is going to cement itself as Lamar Jackson, MVP. Am I salty about it as a Seattle Seahawks fan? A little bit, yeah. But it's like I've always said, listen, Lamar can get the MVP, CMC can get the Madden cover, and we'll just give Russell Wilson the Super Bowl MVP. So that's my pick for the week here, boys and girls. Your bye week teams this week: Arizona, Kansas City, LA Chargers, and Minnesota Vikings. So from the top, our picks tonight with Thursday Night Football starting with the Colts. You got the Atlanta Falcons, Buffalo Bills, Chicago Bears, Pittsburgh Steelers, Cleveland Browns, New Orleans Saints, Oakland Raiders, Detroit Lions, Seattle Seahawks, Jacksonville Jaguars, New England Patriots, Green Bay Packers, and the Baltimore Ravens. So, boys and girls, follow me at the Sky Lounge on all the links in the description below. Like, comment, subscribe for more daily content. Now, fuck off.